Well, there's probably something you haven't seen before, and that's training gear on an Mcpx. And why would you want it on there anyway? Well, it's good for when you're learning to practice hovering nose in and you're in a really small area and you can hover it really low to the ground and whatever. It helps out a lot so you don't, always be banging everything out. Now, what I did with this is I just cut with a hole saw, like a little 3/4 inch hole, out of some really light, cheap plywood. And I measured, well, I didn't actually measure, I just went from both blades extended and about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch longer. And I cut 2 pieces of that and then cut those in half. And what I did is I just glued them to the bottom, and then I just take little tiny electrical ties and glue them onto your skids, or not glue them, just fasten them onto your skids, and away you go. And I sort of made it in a kind of an X shape rather than just a straight cross. As far as the balls are concerned, what I did with the balls is these are just little tiny craft balls that I got, my wife picked up at a craft store. I've got a little piece of heat shrink here, and a piece of heat shrink there, and a piece of fuel tubing. So the fuel tubing is tight going over top of the rod. And then I just push the little foam balls through there. And then a real small washer to butt up against that. And another little piece of fuel tubing on the end of that heat shrink, and then just sort of squeeze them up together. Nice and tight. Those ties there, they just wrap around, and then if you don't want them, rather than cutting them off, you might want to just get an additional set of skids and then just pull the skids off, and then the landing gear is always attached to that. So maybe if you're flying or your son is flying or just learning, or daughter, whatever the case. So that's it. Guessing that that's in the picture, I'm sure it is. Try and bring it a little closer to the camera. So it hovers really nice and stable. There's not a problem with the balls at all. And it'll be good, like I say, for practicing that nose in. Training gear at its finest. Rock on.